Welcome to the Disorderly Drifter Show.
Good luck, everyone!
This is a little story about 5 crazy friends from Montana and North Dakota who got together and made a plan to drive small motorcycles from Medora, North Dakota to the southern tip of Argentina. Let's go back to when we were preparing for this adventure and how disorderly that was. We had originally entered the Mongol rally put on by a group called the Adventurists. We had entered smaller rallies that they had put on in the past, and that's where we discovered the rickshaw. And we planned on taking this 3-wheeled rickshaw 8,000 miles from London to Mongolia. But this little thing you may have heard of called COVID-19 happened, and the rally got postponed for another year. So put a kibosh to that idea. But we had all already quit our jobs, so we really wanted to do something big. So we grabbed a case of beer and had a meeting. That's when we came up with the plan to do the Pan American Highway, the world's longest motorable road. We would just get a rickshaw shipped to North Dakota, jump in, and take it down to Argentina. But again, COVID had other plans as we couldn't get them to America at this time. So it was back to the drawing board. That's when we came up with the Honda Monkey. A 125 cubic centimeter 4-stroke air-cooled motor electric start with a 4-speed transmission and disc brakes, also installed with a 1.47 gallon fuel tank. This thing was a true gift from God. What better vehicle than this to take down the Pan American Highway? 3 of us already had a Monkey when we bought them in Nashville and rode them to Sturgis Motorcycle Rally the summer of 2020. So Courtney bought one in Denver, and Cody and Austy went and picked it up for her and left it in the living room as a surprise.
Those shitheads. It's so beautiful.
Cody bought himself a bright yellow 1978 CT90. With only a couple weeks left until the takeoff day, as you can see here, we worked really fast at getting our gear and bikes prepped for the adventure. Now that's Courtney giving directions, and more directions, and more. Now she's playing the guitar. Nope, that's the drums. She's playing the drums. And here she goes to, I don't know where she's at the bar, maybe? No, here she comes. Courtney, where'd you go? Oh, there she is, working on her bike finally. We went over to our buddy Tylen's welding shop to get the monkeys fitted for new racks to carry the weight of our luggage and gear. Tylen even got this rack to double as a grill for cooking while we camped. Cody and Courtney realized they should probably go and get their motorcycle licenses. The test went smoothly for Cody and a little more interesting for Courtney, but somehow she still managed to pass by 1 point. They were now both licensed motorcycle drivers. So we celebrated with what could only be described as a slightly wild and disorderly going away party.
He lost his bike.
She's better than I am. Jesus.
Then we had a blast doing a podcast for the guys at Phil's Stop Chats. We were a little nervous for our first ever interview and probably had too many beers beforehand, but Chris and James were fun guys and it went really well. Getting ready for this trip, we had spent months selling off everything we owned and giving away the rest until our belongings could fit into a couple backpacks. It was amazing how much stuff you accumulate over the years that you don't actually need. Being able to fit everything you own on the back of a small motorcycle is pretty awesome. As you can see here, Courtney proves that she can do it in 46 seconds flat. Now that we were all packed, we got ourselves a map and scribbled out a very detailed and concrete plan for our route, and we headed out.
Love guys, love you. Come home safe.
Aw, thanks, Mom. Now we were finally on the road at the massive speeds of 50 miles per hour. We went from North Dakota into Montana and south towards Wyoming. We made a stop to show our bikes Devil's Tower National Monument, and we made camp on the North Platte River in Wyoming.
Pretty steep.
It's always fun meeting and talking to other travelers. We did end up camping next to van lifers and YouTubers that go by the name of Bread Trucker. And we exchanged stories, and they gave us some great travel tips for being full-time travelers. Cody's CT90 lost an air filter while driving through Colorado, so we made a makeshift one out of a piece of t-shirt and a hose clamp. And here's Cody airing up the rear tire of the CT90 in road construction, and putting the kickstand back on the CT90 at a gas station, and replacing the brake of the CT90 at a Honda dealership, and putting the taillight on the CT90, and catching a ride to go get the CT90 from the shop in Craig, Colorado. Okay, I think you guys get the point. The old Honda had a few kinks that needed to be worked out, but with the best tools we had, we slowly got her up to par again. And yeah, we did use that fork and spoon to eat with later that day. While driving through Utah, we got caught in a rainstorm. While Cody, Austy, and Colter got a room for the night, Courtney and I went to find a place to camp. We ended up getting caught in another downpour, so we found a salt shed along the highway to take cover. We stopped to get out of the rain, but it started getting dark on us, so we set up camp for the night in the shed. We figured this would be a quiet and hidden place for the night. But then, just after dark, a helicopter landed and an ambulance pulled up as we were doing our best trying not to be seen. Apparently they were using the big concrete slab in front of our home as a helicopter pad, and they were transporting someone from the ambulance into the chopper for a life flight. We didn't say a word to them, and no one said a word to us. It was a crazy thing to see. Soon the chopper took off, and everyone had left Courtney and I for a peaceful night's sleep. We decided that it was a fair idea to break camp and leave early the next morning, as we weren't exactly sure if we were supposed to be camping here in the first place. We hit the road again as Courtney almost kills his helpless bunny, and it didn't take long for me and Bunny Murderer to catch up with the rest of the guys in Bryce Canyon. Here we set up an amazing and relaxing camp, and Austy cooked us up a great meal of steak and potatoes and beans. While out exploring, we got caught in road construction behind this semi, and noticed he didn't have a disorderly sticker yet. You're welcome. Getting off the highway and exploring Utah while searching for campsites was just a blast. Well, sort of. With an already buggered up knee from a previous wreck, and at 4'10", sand is just not Courtney's friend. Neither her nor the bike were hurt. Just having hell in the deep sand, so we helped her get the monkey back upright. Getting the bike up the last little ways to our camping spot, I too struggled in the sand. The next day, we ran into a little more rain again. which caused slight flooding on the highway and led us to testing out the amphibious skills of the monkeys. Or frog monkeys?
Awesome. Good job. Hell yeah.
Following the swim, we convinced the frog monkeys they were actually gorillas now, as we had to take them down our only interstate drive of the trip for about 20 miles to get to a quiet little desert town called Las Vegas. Our friend Shannon even flew down to visit. We don't have much footage of our first night in Vegas except this of Troggy, Colter's drunken alter ego. We are so lucky we did not get thrown in jail that night. The next morning, even though it felt like we were dying from death, we rented a car and drove out to Nelson's Landing on the Colorado River. What better way to beat the 115-degree desert heat than going and doing a little cliff diving? It was so nice just to spend the day relaxing. And after our swim, we went a few miles up the road to the ghost town of Nelson. When we had gotten to Vegas, we had ordered some much needed parts, and after a few days they were delivered and we put them on in front of the motorcycle shop.
Yep, keep going. It's a ratchet, so you can...
Oh, yeah.
After getting the bikes going again, we headed out of Vegas and checked out a little town in California called Slab City. Slab City is an old Marine Corps camp from WW2 that was torn down with just this concrete slabs left. It's now an unincorporated community of drifters and snowbirds, known as the last free place on Earth. We also checked out Salvation Mountain, just on the south side of Slab City. With thousands of gallons of paint and adobe brick, Leonard Knight built the 50-foot tall religious folk art. And that about wraps up our travels in the U.S., as we went on to cross the border into Mexico the next day. Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed that film. We none of us have ever shot or edited or anything with YouTube or videos before, so we're all really had a fun learning experience, and we've been sitting here in an Airbnb for the last 2 weeks trying to make it for you guys. We're in the southern peninsula, the southern Baja Peninsula of Mexico right now. We're waiting out Hurricane Nora as she's going up the Sea of Cortez. And then we are going to jump on a ferry and go to mainland Mexico and continue our trip. But I really hope you liked that film, and hopefully we got more coming for you here soon.
If you did like the film, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We do have other social media accounts as well. Follow us at Disorderly Drifters on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram as we travel on our journey from North Dakota to... Where are we going, guys?
To the bottom!
I win.
Farts.